Hey, this is Gregor from Hoodie, and today I would like to show you how we prepare the famous Hoodie starter issues. What you see here is kind of the end product of it. We prepared this thing called Übersicht, where we can list all our issues across repositories, and on go.hood.ie slash Hoodie starter issues, you will land on this page. And then it's preset with the ready and starter filters, and all issues that you see here are these starter issues. So when I open one, you will see that this is extensively described and very nice for contributors, either new or existing ones, to jump in and fix the issue. So how do we do this? There is this fantastic issue that Patricia prepared with a lot of inconsistencies between our REST API and the specification that we created. So I will just take the very first point here and we'll create an issue for it. The usual way, or no, as I did it myself in the past, is I would just copy this thing, paste it into an issue, and that would be it. And then I would hope that at some point magically a unicorn contributor will appear and understand what I mean, and go into the code and understand where to find what and resolve it. And this definitely happens, but with a little bit of extra effort, I think it lowers the bar tremendously for people to help fixing this issue, and also for other people to review a pull request before it gets merged instead of doing it myself or other core contributors. So first, I would, besides the subject and the mention of the original issue that Patricia created, I would add a more thorough description of the bug itself. So I would add a link to the JSON specification directly to the sign-in request, which is here at question. And there in the specification, I can see that there is a response 401 with the message invalid credentials. So this is what this is all about. Our implementation right now returns invalid password, so that is the problem. So now that we more clearly described the bug and make it simpler to understand what it is, I will add steps to fix the bug. So usually what the first thing we add is a checkbox that says claim this issue. And the reason is not every contributor is already part of the team, so they cannot assign themselves. So if they cannot, we ask them to comment below, and then we kind of assign them to the issue manually by adding the username here. The next step is we ask the user to set up the repository locally and make sure that the tests pass. And then we also link directly to the README where we describe how to set up the repository. So it's very easy to follow. And if the user runs npm test and they are not green, then the problem is on our side. Of course, I tried this myself before I create an issue, just to make sure the current state of our master is okay. The next step is, in this case, to adjust a test. So here I directly link to the test file so that the user doesn't need to understand everything, the contributor doesn't need to understand everything of the code base. Instead, I can link them directly to the right place where the problem is. The way I do it is, once I know the file, I usually go to the code page, and then there is a keyboard shortcut T. I look for the file and I open it, and I look for the right place. In our case, it's put session with invalid password, and this is what we want to change. So I link to line 118. But instead of linking to the master branch, I want to link to the last commit, because I don't know how long this issue will remain open, and there might be changes and the line might change. So So instead I copied the git hashtag and replaced master with this hashtag, and then it directly links to this line of code on this file in this place of history, and it doesn't matter if this file gets changed in future, it will always point to the right place. So this is the URL that I want to have here. And this is now what it also links to. So after the user created the test, I asked them to run the tests, make sure that they are green. And if they are, then we ask them to commit in a specific way. The reason is at Hoodie we follow specific code methods, conventions, but instead, of explaining everything, it's much simpler to just say like, hey, we would like you to use this commit message so you don't have to think about it. Eventually, after people, contributed 1-2 pull requests, they understand and they see these conventions themselves, so they don't need these instructions anymore, and they can pull and they can work on issues that are not as well described. It just happens magically. So the next step is to actually start a pull request. And here we always link to this fantastic tutorial by Kansi Darts that he created for Egghead.io, and Egghead.io luckily decided to make this course available for free. So it's a great screencast that you can follow with 14 lessons on how to contribute to open source, and it very thoroughly describes how you would start a pull request. So this is what really helps to get people who are not used to GitHub, new to GitHub, to kind of help over the mountain to submit a pull request. Next up, depending on how complex the issue is, I would point the contributor to the right places. But in this case, I think it's simple enough, and we want to be it fun a little bit. So I would just say, figure it out, implement the change with a smiley, and that should be fine. After the implementation is done, I will ask the user again, make sure that the tests pass this time, and I will let the contributor know what kind of message we would like to have. And then a final checkbox which just says, you're done, congratulations, and then just comment below if you are ready so that we know and we will find someone to review it. Last but not least, we will add links to the Hoodie chat so the user knows where to ask for help. We usually add a link to our Hoodie chat and to our Twitter handle. And that's pretty much it. I hope you like our little instructions and let us know what you think.